All right, I want to welcome everybody out to the January 8th Jenkins City Council meeting, which will be a special meeting lineup before we had to move it for the holidays. So, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Ernestine.
Here.
Chuck.
Here.
Sean.
Here.
Rick. Josh.
Here.
Garnet.
Here. All righty, if you can stand for the prayer. Chuck, could you lead us in prayer, please? Will do.
Dear Lord, we're just thankful to be able to gather here tonight. Lord, as we discuss the business of our city, we hope to do so according to your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, we do it for the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, in your packet is the minutes from the December meeting. Any additions, deletions, or comments? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Having a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Also in your packet is the December financial report.
Make a motion we accept it as presented.
I'll second it. Having a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All righty, I want to welcome A.J. Miller out tonight from Kentucky River Area Development District. I like to throw that in there because when you say CRAD, everybody don't know what that is. But he's here tonight with the update. And I don't know if he wants to go over anything in particular, or you just here in case something happens.
Well, my name is AJ Miller. I work with Kentucky River Area Development District, or CRAD. On the updates, there really isn't much to discuss, but it's a new year, so there's new application cycles for different types of grants. AMLRs came out on January 8th, so if there's any projects that you're interested in applying an AMLR for, shoot Jennifer an email and we will put it on the list. Land and Water Conservation Fund grants and RTP grants are out, which those are recreation grants for trails or parks or things of that nature. And AFGs will be out at the end of this month, and those are grants for firefighters and fire departments. So all those grants are out this month, and if there's anything that you all are interested in applying for, please shoot Jennifer an email.
Okay.
And also Megan said hi.
Okay, we got to take care of Megan.
What's the AMLR one approved for $372,000? What was that one that we got?
That was wastewater.
Treatment plant upgrades. We're trying to build capacity for the industrial park. So, and I can hit the high spots on. AJ, good to have you here. And if you need to go, I know it's a little ways from. You'll pass our city attorney down through there somewhere. So say hi. But thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
The City Hall renovations, that's moving forward. The engineers are getting the final paperwork together for that. That's the elevator and some ADA renovations for the bathrooms, new drop box that passes through the building, not hanging on the side of the building. The AMLR, like I said, it's improvements for the sewer plant. They try to keep it going, but we've got a clarifier down right now, and it's just old, and they get one thing fixed and something helps. So hopefully we'll be able to upgrade some of that older equipment. And next Thursday we start our I&I study. And I know we keep talking about studies, but that's how you get to the big money is you bring in professionals that can help identify projects and what gives the most bang for the bucks if we're fortunate enough to receive the grants. Sewer extension, housing development, the Grandview project here on the hill, the higher ground that was announced from the governor is still in the environmental review process. We can't dig a ditch until that is finalized, so that's being worked on.
I noticed we've got several that are submitted. Are those, each one have its own date, or is there a generalized date that they will grant bulk amount of grants?
Yeah, there's different funding cycles. There's windows when you apply, and then there's award windows, and then it rolls over to the next time. Some of them are rolling all year long, so you apply anytime during the year, depending on which one it is. And, Amory's talking about its abandoned mine lands, economic revitalization. That's part of the one we got for the sewer plant already. The RTP's recreational trails, that's what we got for tying the amphitheater into the Raven Rock development. Land water is the one that we received for updates on the park over here, new roofs and trying to get it lined out. The firefighters grant is one, and we're working on submissions for that right now for some new equipment for the fire department. And that's what I just went over, so the rest of it. So it's an ongoing thing. There's a lot of money out there. Our draft long-term recovery project that we're working with DCMC, we should have a draft to look at by the next council meeting to get started, because then we look for public investment into it to look at it, see if it goes along with what they think needs to be done. But it's sort of a framework to go by to move ahead with the long-term recovery process. So there's CDBG-DR, which is the normal community development block grant applications and programs, but DR is disaster recovery. So that's out of that 300-some million over the 20 counties, and Letcher County is one of the 4 mid-counties, which is the most impacted county. So it gives you a little more room for more applications. So we've got CRAD working on it, we've got ERCIS working on it, and we've also got DCMC partners all looking at every opportunity they are to apply for money. Now, part of the problem is sometimes matches are involved in it, and any of you talking to any of the legislatures that you know from here or from other places, two things they'll be talking about this session is EK Safe money, which helps us match some of these FEMA projects and helps us to provide volunteer support, some other things, which is a key thing. So if you talk to any of them, just tell them we really need them to look hard at the EK Safe funding and to put all they can in there. The second piece is House Bill 9. House Bill 9 will be a game changer if they pass it in a way that puts enough funding in there. So say we're going to apply for a federal grant, it's $100,000 and it's 20% match. Well, that's just $20,000. If it's $1 million, it's $200,000. But under House Bill 9, we can apply for both at the same time. We can come in and say we're applying for this $1 million grant, and we will apply for House Bill 9 for the $200,000 match. It's something they've come up with. They've had a pilot program. We've got one of the 30 projects in the pilot. But if it works out, it's going to mean that there's a lot of grants that we don't ever pursue because we can't afford the match, unless it's some huge project that we could find the money for.
So that 9 is going to pay for that also?
House Bill 9 will help us. We'll be able to apply for the House Bill 9 money and the federal or whichever grant it is at the same time. And if we get the one, we'll get the match, and then we can proceed. So we can leverage that 20% or 10 or whatever that match could be big. So if you talk to any of the reps or state legislature or anybody in state government, just push that EK Safe and House Bill 9 money is extremely important to us while they're working through this session up there. And I've relayed that to several, and we've had a lot of meetings and trainings on it, trying to keep it pushed out there. So. Let's see, engineer's report. Engineer's report sort of follows along with all the different projects that we've applied for money and worked on. We've been real fortunate and able to receive a lot of these grants, and we're starting to put them in process and start building them out. And ERCS, let's see what they've got. 10 of our 12 projects have been approved and submitted. A little over $1,184,000. 2 more projects we're working on. We've got some culvert projects that's not been done yet. We've got a slip in number 4 that's not been done yet. We've got a slip or slide, I can't remember. They call one above the road one thing and below the road a different thing. But FEMA sort of has turned us down for the one at the sewer plant, but it's pretty important because the slag could affect the chemical building or our clarifiers. And then they're working on that FEMA assistance to firefighters grants that we were talking about getting some more equipment for them. Any questions on that? Alrighty, I'm gonna tune in our city attorney and we'll work on the Kentucky Power resolution first. Hello, Randall, I've got you on speakerphone. We're ready to proceed with reading the Kentucky Power resolution.
Okay. Well, thank the council for letting me appear remotely. I just couldn't make it back from Lexington in time. So I'll be reading the resolution first and then the franchise agreement. City of Jenkins resolution number blank, resolution confirming the sale and awarding a non-exclusive franchise to Kentucky Power for a term of 10 years for electrical franchise for the placement of facilities for the transmission, distribution, and sale of electrical energy along and under public right-of-way within the City of Jenkins in consideration of payment to the City of Jenkins for the sum of 3% friends, 3% close friends, of the revenues received by Kentucky Power from electric services provided by Kentucky Power Company within the corporate limits of the City of Jenkins, separate from and exclusive of any local tax, state tax, and fuel costs, reserving the right to increase said franchise fee to up to 4% friends, 4% close friends, of Kentucky Power Company's revenues received by Kentucky Power Company from electric services provided by Kentucky Power Company within the City of Jenkins corporate limits, separate from and exclusive of any local tax, state tax, and fuel costs. Whereas ordinance number 261 adopted by the Jenkins City Commission provided for the creation and sale of a non-exclusive franchise for a term of 10 years to acquire, lay, maintain, operate, enter upon, construct, install, use, and repair in the public right-of-way of the city a system or works for the generation, transmission, and distribution of electrical energy from points within or without the corporate limits of the city to the city and the inhabitants thereof, and from and through the city to persons, corporations, and municipalities beyond the limits thereof for the sale of same for light, heat, power, and other purposes. And whereas said ordinance also established a sealed bid process, which includes advertising the invitation for bid and awarding the franchise to the successful bidders, friends, S, close friends, semicolon, and whereas after publication of said advertisement, the city received a bid from Kentucky Power Company, friends, quote, KPC, end quote, close friends. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Jenkins, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that an electrical franchise created by Ordinance 261B and it is hereby awarded to KPC, and the franchise fee for the franchise will be a total annual fee friends, 3% close friends of the revenues received by KPC from the provisions of electrical service within the corporate limits of the city, separate from and exclusive of any local tax, state tax, or fuel costs. The city shall have the right to increase said franchise fee described above to up to 4% of the revenue received by KPC from the provisions of electrical service within the corporate limits of the city, separate from and exclusive of any local tax, state tax, and fuel costs, and the increase will become effective 180 close friends, days after the date written notice of the increase is provided to KPC. The city shall provide the KPC not less than 20 days prior to written notice of each city council meeting at which an increase of the franchise fee will be considered in order to enable a representative of KPC to attend such meeting. The aforesaid written notice shall be sent by certified mail to KPC's registered agent. Section 2, all prior ordinances, municipal orders, and policies or parts thereof in conflict herewith are to the extent of such conflict hereby repealed. Section 3, that the Mayor Jenkins is hereby authorized to sign the franchise agreement, which memorializes the sale by Jenkins to Kentucky Power Company of said franchise, subject to the terms and conditions reflected in ordinance number 261, KPC's bid letter of November 6, 2023, in this resolution. Section 4, that the statements set forth in the preamble to this resolution are hereby incorporated in this resolution by reference to same as is set forth at length herein. And Section 3, that if any section, sentence, clause, or phrase of this resolution is held to be unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remainder of the resolution. Section 6, that this resolution shall be effective upon the date of passage. So resolved this blank day of blank 2024 signature line of Test City Clerk. Franchise agreement made and entered into this blank day of blank 2024 by and between the City of Jenkins, a municipal corporation and political subdivision of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, friends here in active quote, Jenkins in quote, close friends, and the Kentucky Power Company, a corporation created and existing under and by virtue of the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, friends here in active quote, KPC in quote, close friends, witness that whereas by ordinance 261 adopted, Jenkins provided for the creation and sale of a non-exclusive franchise for a term of 10 years to acquire, lay, maintain, operate, install, construct, install, use, and repair in the public right-of-way of Jenkins a system or works for the generation, transmission, and distribution of electrical energy from points either within or without the corporate limits of Jenkins, to Jenkins and the inhabitants thereof, and from and through to Jenkins, the persons, corporations, and municipalities beyond the limits thereof, and for the sale of same for light, heat, power, and other purposes. Whereas Ordinance 261 authorizes the advertisement for bids on said franchise, the KPC submitted a timely bid to acquire said franchise, and whereas by resolution adopted herein, it's number blank, Jenkins accepted the bid of KPC to acquire said franchise, and whereas Jenkins and KPC have entered into the franchise agreement to memorialize the sale by Jenkins to KPC of the franchise, subject to the terms and conditions of Ordinance 261, Kentucky Power Company's bid letter of November 6, 2023, and the resolution. Now, therefore, for the consideration of the mutual covenants and agreements contained herein and the receipt of sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged, Jenkins and KPC hereby agrees to incorporate the foregoing recitals as if fully set forth herein, and further agree as follows. Number 1, Ordinance 261, which is attached here to as Exhibit A, is incorporated herein by reference in its entirety and shall apply as if fully set forth herein. Number 2, the bid letter of KPC for the said franchise, which is attached here to as Exhibit B, is incorporated herein by reference in its entirety and shall apply as if fully set out herein. Number 3, resolution blank, which is attached here to as Exhibit C, is incorporated herein by reference in its entirety and shall apply as if fully set forth herein. Number 4, Jenkins hereby grants unto KPC a non-exclusive franchise for a term of 10 years to acquire, lay, maintain, operate, uniform, construct, install, use, and repair in the public right-of-way of Jenkins a system or works for the generation, transmission, and distribution of electrical energy from points either within or without the corporate limits of Jenkins, to Jenkins and the inhabitants thereof, from through Jenkins, to persons, corporations, and municipalities beyond the limits thereof. and for the sale of same for the light, heat, power, and other purposes in accordance with the terms of ordinance number 261, Exhibit A, herein, close parentheses, and the Kentucky Fire Company, bid letter, Exhibit B, close parentheses. The franchise memorialized in the franchise agreement shall commence January 1st, 2024, and shall expire January 1st, 2034, unless terminated prior thereto pursuant to the terms and provisions of Ordinance 261 and Kentucky Fire Company's bid letter, Exhibit B. Number 6. In consideration of the grant sale and conveyance of said franchise, KPC agrees to pay Jenkins a sum equal to a total annual fee of 3% close, 3% close friends, other revenues received by KPC from the provisions of electrical service within the corporate limits of the city, separate from an exclusive of any local tax, state tax, and fuel costs. The city shall have the right to increase their franchise fee described today to up to 4%. All the revenue received by KPC from the provisions of electrical service within the corporate limits of the city separate from an exclusive of any local tax, state tax, and fuel costs. And the increase shall become effective 180 days after the date of the written notice of the increase is provided to KPC. The city shall provide KPC not less than 20 days prior written notice. Each city council meeting at which any increase of the franchise fee shall be considered in order to enable a representative of KPC to attend each such meeting. If the aforesaid written notice shall be sent certified mail to KPC's involved at March 7. KPC does hereby bind itself as successors in the plan, faithfully and fully perform each and every condition of said franchise as memorialized in this agreement, and further to faithfully perform all acts required of it as purchaser of the franchise. Number 8. This franchise agreement memorializes the agreements between the parties contained and embodied in Ordinance number 261, Exhibit A, close friends, and Kentucky Fire bid letter, Exhibit B, close friends, and shall be binding upon and inured to the benefit of the respective successors and interests of the parties to the two. In witness for our Jenkins and the KPC have executed this franchise agreement as their free and voluntary act of deed effective as of the date first written. Signature line City of Jenkins Mayor. Signature line Kentucky Power abides blank. Dear City Clerk. Notary entries for Kentucky Power Company. Attachments exhibit list. Exhibit A, Ordinance number 261. Exhibit B, Kentucky Fire Company's bid letter. Exhibit C, resolution number blank. That's it.
All righty, Counselor, thank you, and we'll vote accordingly here.
Okay.
Be safe coming back.
All right.
See you. We're done. All right, back to the resolution. Haven't heard the resolution. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Also with, purchase agreement. We were sort of backwards. We needed the resolution before we did the purchase agreement. So entertain a motion to approve the franchise agreement as
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
all right, have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I know that seemed like a long time, but it was just 12 minutes. So. Okay, now in the back of your packet, there's a invoice from Schnabel Engineering. They're the ones that are doing the study on the dam. This is disaster recovery money from the 21 storms and tornadoes. We were able to apply for some of that, and we feel like once we get this study in place, we may be able to go back for another round of money to start working on the dam and doing some needed repairs and getting it set up for a little bit of flood preparedness. So total for the invoice is $129,800. That's half of the total cost of that project, $259,600. But that money is available and comes through the state. Entertain a motion to approve the Snobble Engineering invoice.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, having a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alrighty. Council got anything they want to ask about we ain't already or talk about? Or
Yeah, I do. When are we sending officer trips to the police academy?
sometime after the first of the year.
After first year?
Yeah, that'll be scheduled once we get through,
After this year?
no, this year.
Okay, because I know we was coming up on the time frame, and I aggravate him all the time. And, you know, he's a hometown guy, and I'd hate to see a young man like that, you know, us not get him and stuff. And I knew his academy time was coming near, so I just want to make sure we hang on to him and get him what he needs to be here in Jenkins.
It will be this year. Good or bad?
Any news on some of the properties that we have, will be able to tear down
We
or
took
deteriorated properties?
We took the one down, we took two down, this one, we've got another one we're closing on. No, we've already closed, it'll be cleaned up, the improvement branch. And the blighted committee's getting more stuff together, we're just walking them through.
I know it's a process, you know, it's a long drawn out process.
Being in a Laughing-Our state is difficult. I didn't know what it was all about, but there's always an heir to property. So
That's
if
right.
if they pass away all the way through one side, it goes back to aunt and uncle and back down the other side. But anyway, it's,
Another thing, is it possible that the idea could be entertained to find a different place to put our dumpsters and stuff out of the park? Is there any place that,
not really that it wouldn't get more out of hand than what it does.
yeah,
One thing that you brought that up, I would remind anybody watching it, it's for City of Jenkins customers.
yeah,
If you pay a trash bill to the county or another county, it's not for you. And we're getting ready to put up cameras and signs to let people know that and try to make sure that we don't get any more than we have to. The only good thing is we have to deal with it over here, and maybe it ain't over the hill on Dunham Hill or
Right.
throw it outside the road.
I thought of that too. I just wondered, you know, you can't help when the landfill's not open, you can't go there. You know, y'all can't.
And that was the
The
big
workers can't do anything about it.
We're looking at maybe a concrete pad and a fence around it and make it look a little bit better.
Yeah, if we could do something like that maybe to dress it up a little bit. And
Yeah, you know, a lot
if
of-
we can't move it,
The problem is if we move it anywhere else, we'd have to shut it down at night because you couldn't
Oh, yeah.
keep up with it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
yeah.
but
I
maybe
understand.
there may be a piece of property comes available that we might be able to at least have somebody keep an eye on it, so. Citizens, any citizens got anything? Okay, well, let everybody know the last clerk, Chastity's here with us now, so we're glad that she's here. Happens to be the mother of Justin. You want to read the police report?
Here you go.
And I would like to thank the mayor for getting computers in the car and printers. It makes your job a lot easier. I can fill a citation out in 5 minutes and have the evidence done in 10 minutes. But in the total year of 2023, we removed 1.9 pounds of methamphetamines, 15 ounces of fentanyl, 5 ounces of heroin, 10 grams of cocaine, and close to 1,000 pills. We also seized approximately $25,000 in illegal drug trafficking currency, 10 vehicles that we seized for drug trafficking, 11 firearms involved with drug trafficking, and we recovered one stolen vehicle on a raid. And we also arrested 194 individuals with various charges and warrants. We worked with Sheriff's Office, Whitesburg, Neon, and Kentucky State Police real close throughout the year to be successful. Hopefully we have a better year this year and get bigger bucks.
And maybe people act better, it won't be as busy.
And we also added a new car.
There's proceeds from the Tahoe that got able to match the grant, so it didn't cost us anything, and it's one of the last chargers. But I will say this, Justin's job and the police department's job is get people's attention if they're dealing with addiction or having problems or whatever. And on the backside of that, we hope they get help, and Justin's there for that too. So he will talk to them, work with them, and he's took people to go to rehab and get started in that. And if somebody wants that help, we're available to do that too. So it's not all about getting them locked up, but ultimately we want to save their lives and get them to quit doing what they're doing. So if anybody's out there that's dealing with that, it's not all about putting them in jail, but we got to get their attention and get them in the court system and try to give them some help. So I appreciate the way he does that too. So don't think it's all about just blue lights and jail cells. It's long-term goal is to get people help that they need and deserve. That's all I've got tonight. If anybody else ain't got anything, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say bye.
Bye.